Boom. Sounds like crap.
Hey, welcome to the Floor U podcast. I am Paul Pleshek, and I am, as always, joined by Mr. Sonny Callahan. Sonny, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Now, I know we've only done about 10 of these, but that was absolutely the worst intro we've done yet.
We've been on hiatus. We've been on hiatus. Come on.
Maybe it'll come back to us in a few minutes. What's up, everybody?
So, you know that theme song. That theme song is "Game Changer" by my brother. Been played at NBA games. I think it's really appropriate for this episode of the Floor U podcast.
Yes, it's a game changer today, my friend. You're absolutely right. The tides of the flooring world are about to turn.
Yeah, I think some of the announcements coming up, some of the things we're going to talk about today, really have a possibility of changing the industry for the better, and in a big way.
Nope, I agree 100%. Not possibly, it will.
Yeah, it will.
So I'm excited.
So I'm leading off the podcast, setting the bar high here, Sonny.
I'm pretty short. I'm not worried about it. Well, most things are high for me.
So
did one of these.
We have been on hiatus here for a while. We apologize to our regular listeners, or we deserve a thank you from them for those that don't like to listen to it. But life gets busy sometimes, and you know the Floor U podcast. If it makes $1, that'll be its first one. So we've got priorities here.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Just making time. You know, we got to prep, and an hour to record. It takes a little bit, so we apologize, but it's going to be a good one today.
So what have we done? We have, if we go back to the last podcast, I'm not going to talk about Christmas and New Year's because, you know,
yeah,
we might have got
traveled over 10,000 miles since the last time we spoke.
You're traveling a couple thousand next week, right, for the FCICA?
Yeah, well, that's not that far. It's only going to Nashville for that. That's a good one. We did find out that, for one, our thoughts and prayers are with those folks out there, those tornadoes they had. Luckily, the venue where we're going to have FCICA, everything seems to be okay. But our thoughts and prayers are definitely with the folks in Nashville.
That is that's scary. That's
one of those things you can plan for a hurricane. You know what's coming. You can plan for an ice storm that's coming. You don't know about these tornadoes. They just pop up. Excuse me. They're the scariest things to me. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. Bad weather comes out of nowhere, and you know how many storms do you get, and you're just no big deal, no big deal. Kind of like the coronavirus, right? They tell us it's a big deal, and we prepare, and then all of a sudden it's nothing as usual.
Yeah, wash your freaking hands, people. And you know what? Once a virus is gone, keep washing your damn hands. It's that simple. So, hygiene. Something to talk about.
So, we went to Surfaces, right? That was.
We're so behind. Yeah, we're talking about Surfaces.
I know. It seems like it was a half a lifetime ago. Oh, wait, it was about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. But I got to tell you, that Surfaces event was the best one that I've been to since before the recession. So 2004, 2005, the walkways were packed, the booths were packed, the people were buying, the place was buzzing. We just hadn't had that in a show in a long time. So I was really glad to see that. And made it easier for you and I to walk around, and we met with a ton of people.
Yeah, that really rolled us into our, oh boy. Sonny?
If you guys could see the look on his face.
Yeah, you were frozen. You were frozen as well. That would be comical.
You were frozen. You were like.
Should we start it over?
Where'd I freeze? Nah. Keep going.
Nah, you're getting what you pay for, people. Free podcast.
Get your money back. You don't like it.
No, so Surfaces was really busy. It was definitely, we're not, somebody's going to screenshot that, and that's going to be someone promoting our show for us. Our frozen faces in the middle of the podcast.
We're going to change the name of the show, Two Assholes and a Microphone. Or Two Dumbasses with a Microphone. Better.
Isn't that what it's called anyway?
Yeah, well, that's how people refer to us.
Listen, folks, we're not twisting your arm to watch this thing. But thank you for watching.
Well, Andy McWilliams said he listened to us as he drove from Dalton to Charleston in the middle of the night. I'm thinking that poor sap, he had to be fighting sleep listening to us.
Yeah, I don't think that's more a cure for insomnia than it is it gives you insomnia instead of cure.
These two assholes get a show. Because there's no regulation, folks. You just start recording.
Anyone can have a show. Just buy a the computer has a microphone. Don't even bother buying a microphone.
Oh, that's what I don't have. I don't have my microphone. That's why there's a difference.
Oh, I can tell the difference in the sound, too.
Yeah, my bad, folks. I'm down in Florida doing a little trip down here at O-Town. And as a matter of fact, I'm down here and I'm going tomorrow to meet with some of the kids at AMI Kids that we taught in December. So going back even farther than Surfaces, there are 3 or 4 that are still there, haven't graduated yet, and I'm so looking forward to going there and seeing and meeting with those. Danielle said I could spend an hour or so just shooting the poop with them and catching up and making sure they're ready to be put back into the wild, as you say. So I'm excited. I'm excited to meet with them.
That would be, because some of those kids had been there for a while when we met them. Some of them were just starting in the program, so like to see the progress they've made since they were.
That's why I said, we need to follow up in between the classes that we do, because they need to know we care, not just when we're there teaching. We care all the time, and that's the message we want to send those guys, those young men and women. Not at this place, but that if they need something, they can call. So I'm excited about that. So.
I totally agree with that. I mean, it's one thing to get some education when you're in there and to do some training, but it's another thing to get out and be able to pick up the phone and reach out to people and see if there's opportunities and places, or just to let us know that what they're doing. I mean, that's part of it.
I'll be honest. I really hope Blizz is still there. And you guys, Seth Pavarnik, Paul, and myself are the only ones that are going to know who Blizz is. But he's a young man from, I thought it was Jacksonville, but it's Duval. Straight from the street. Hardcore kid. But he was the funniest person I think I've ever met in my life, because he was genuinely funny. So I hope he's still there. I get to see him. I can't wait to mess with him.
And when it came down to it, when we were pulling that carpet out, he worked pretty hard, too.
Yes, he did. When the road met the road, he was doing what he needed to do. So,
and a lot of them did. Most of them
did. And not to blow the whole schedule we got going here, but so today I did send an email out to some folks about trying to get more sponsors for AMI Kids. Sent it to just about every manufacturer I know. Trying to do a class in late April, beginning of May. But when I was talking to Danielle after that, because obviously she was on the email, they're going to be putting more flooring in where we did the classes on top of that VCT. So they're going to be putting more carpet tile down, and I'm hoping we get to do it. So that was so fun watching those boys. Their sense of achievement when that was done was phenomenal. And I kept telling them, no matter what happens in life, no matter where you go from here, you can always look back and go, you know what, I put that floor in, and it looked good when I left. And that was a sense of accomplishment that they needed.
Boy, if somebody out there wanted to offer some self-leveler to put down in there, we could pour out some self-leveler and set up the room for the carpet. Oh, boy.
There's a lot of opportunity there, and I'm hoping our partners over at Ardex will be able to help again, like they did at the first one.
Yes.
If not, we'll find somebody to do that. But I think that would be a great skim coat lesson for that VCT. Have somebody else strip it, but we can skim coat it. Kind of hard to mess that up, so I think it'll be good. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time I stripped floors either.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, maybe you will be coming to this one.
So we talk about surfaces. One of the things I really enjoyed in Divergent Adhesives, Sonny, hosted a bunch of FIA, Flooring Installers of America, Facebook page members.
Yeah.
For dinner, for drinks and conversation. That was
probably at least 35, maybe 40, maybe 35 or so. But it was a blast meeting all those people that we've been interacting with on social media and Facebook, and getting to meet them in person was great. So Mario, the floor god, he backed out at the last minute, so we didn't get to meet him. So Mario Fernandez, you are my call out on this episode. Let's see if you listen.
Yeah, you have had a call out almost every one of them, huh?
That's right. I'm calling. It's working too.
People are listening, or people that are listening are giving people heads up.
It's getting back to him. The best one was the Brit. He did not like being called out. I got a nasty email about an hour and a half after you posted it.
Was that Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin Phillips.
So we sat. That was a very casual time, but it is great getting to know some of the people on there. We go back and forth on things, and we try to help out with stuff where we can, but we also enjoy the posts on there and the conversation that's had, and some of it educational, some of it entertainment.
It's I don't know if you can see any of that picture, but we posted the picture on the Facebook page, so you can see a lot of us that were there. It was a good time. Nate Hall sitting there in the front, smoking a cigar, didn't share, but that's okay. It's all right. But it was a good time. Good time.
So we wandered through the show. I want to make sure I keep things moving here because we got a lot to cover. So we'll probably cover it in about a half hour.
Yeah, I didn't even notice what time it was we started.
So we wandered through the show. CFI put on a great competition.
Oh, they did. I'm so glad that's back. I'm glad the Installer of the Year competition is back. So
they're doing a great job with it, and we said it before. Before the competition. I judged that last year for the wood floor, and the pressure that these guys are under when they are installing that floor. It's a difficult installation. You don't have all your own tools. You've got a bridge of people looking over your shoulder the entire time.
Literally a bridge. Literally. A walkway. They're standing 5 feet over you looking down at you.
Pointing. You hear them talking. That is a stressful situation. And congratulations to all the participants. Congratulations to the winners. And thanks for doing that. It's a joy to watch, and it really does promote the installation industry.
Yeah, Don Perkins was in it on the carpet side, and he actually did a live stream on his Facebook the whole time he was there. So all day, both days. So it was kind of cool to see the progress that he made. But the carpet installation they had was pretty tough. It's an 8x8 area, and it took every bit of 2 days to get that thing done. So kudos to those folks.
Oh, it is. They're always complicated installations. Plenty can go wrong. I think the whole not your own tools, or at least mostly not your own tools, part of it has got to be the most challenging.
Yeah.
It's like you watch those cooking shows and they go into these kitchens that are on TV, and it's not their oven, it's not their stove.
Yeah.
I can't cook when it is my stuff.
Yeah.
I can grill though. I can grill. Charcoal only.
I believe it. For those 2 weeks out of the year you can go outside?
I just grilled out last weekend. I mean,
you had to get the snow off your grill.
Oh, I got a cover on it. Come on, no. You learn to enjoy the snow. I think it happens when you're 51 or 52, because in 50 years I haven't enjoyed it that much. So part of that installation contest, Daniel Gonzalez was on the resilient part of it. He did win his competition.
Yep, Daniel. I was going to say tell him who he is before you say he won, but I was a little slow on that one. But Daniel Gonzalez is one of the two installers that we had for our Heat Weld and Flashcove installation certification that we did 2 weeks ago in Aliquippa. So really proud of an NAFCT instructor being the installer of the year on the resilient side. I think that was an awesome accomplishment for him. He's a young man. He's really talented, and his hand skills are second to none.
Oh, definitely agree. Definitely agree. And that rolls us right into the Heat Weld class. So we spent a lot of time at surfaces talking to different sponsors for the Heat Weld class. That was one of our big goals out there, was to,
We spent a full day in a tool corral meeting with all the vendors. So
yes.
Yeah, I don't want to overlook that, because we did spend a lot of time with Tools for Flooring, Better Tools, Wolf Tools. I shouldn't have started naming because I don't want to leave somebody out. But a lot of the tool manufacturers that were in a tool corral that we talked to have been just phenomenal, and they want to help NAFCT any way they can. So kudos to those folks. Taylor Tools is one, so we really appreciate that. So
we did have quite a few that stepped up for this class, and we sent out a mailer thanking them. But I think it's appropriate at this time to thank them as well.
Give them a shout out, Paul.
What's that?
I said give them a shout out.
Well, first of all, Ardex. Ardex supplies the location for us. They bought us lunch every day.
This class wouldn't have happened without Ardex, without Seth Pavarnik. So a big thank you to Ardex. And you know what? I can say they're my competitor all day long, but when it comes to education, they want the exact same thing you and I want, and that's what I love about those folks. They will do whatever they can to help us, and I am very appreciative of them. I want them to know that.
If you're ever looking at different materials, you're looking at what you're going to use on a different job, take into consideration the investment that an Ardex makes in education overall. There's not too many things that are out there that there are a lot of educational events you see Seth at, and that's just Ardex telling Seth, basically, Seth Pavarnik, go get involved, go train, go get it out there, get the information out there.
Yep.
Their investment in education is just impressive, and it's appreciated.
Yep, it is definitely appreciated. For them feeding us and hosting us, that was fantastic. I really appreciate it.
So we had Ropey there, and of course, with Ropey was Mike Pigeon, which was
Who was Mike Pigeon?
Huh?
Who was Mike Pigeon?
The lead instructor.
Oh, you mean Puppy? I don't know.
God, I'm looking at you going, "Wow, I didn't screw up." No, I swear to God.
I had you going. Now, I know. Mike and I have been friends a long time. I call him Puppy. There's a few of us that call him Puppy because he's cute as a damn puppy. Have you met that guy? He's the only guy with a beard better than mine. So, hell of a guy.
You look like a puppy when he shaved his beard off, maybe.
You talk about another flooring guy with tremendous hand skills. We were fortunate for Ropey to send Mike Pigeon to us. And Mike and Daniel did a really top-notch job working with, what did we end up having, 13 people? Yeah. Getting them certified and training them, and it was just phenomenal the way they worked. So not only did Ropey send Puppy, but they also sent a full roll of rubber flooring, all the rubber weld that we needed. We ran out, they sent more rubber weld, they overnighted it. Stepped up, and just, again, they're one of those vendors that without them this class wouldn't have happened. So
we were able to talk to a couple different people at Tool Out. Oh, you know what? I want to mention Tarkett as well before we move on to the
before we move on, absolutely. So Tarkett They sent a roll of homogeneous vinyl, a roll of heterogeneous vinyl, and a full roll of linoleum, and all the seam weld. Guys who are dealers and installers who know what these things cost, that was a considerable donation they made to us. Excuse me. And again, we needed to have all those different types of flooring to show these students the difference between rubber and homo and hetero and lino, show them all the difference, and we couldn't have done it without them. So, and surprisingly enough, we burned through most of the homo and hetero rolls. They were just about empty, so it takes a lot for these classes.
And that was really just one piece for every project for each person. It's not like they screwed something up, they got another piece. I mean,
2 3x3 pieces or 4x4 pieces for each person. So 4x8, but that adds up quick when you're talking about 6'6" rolls. So
I got to mention Wolf Tools because they donated some tools for what we were doing, and you know we will never ever disagree or turn down the loaners because that's greatly appreciated. But the donations of the tools helps us to put on the next class without having to put the work in to get all that stuff together for the class. And
well, I mean, that brings up a good point because some of the other stuff we didn't have enough of. And so students were sharing some of the other tools, and that's what slowed the class down. So as we keep going and we build up inventory of these tools that are donated by the manufacturers, the classes can go better and go smoother. But yeah, kudos to Wolf Tools. They 2 lino cutters. Oh gosh, I got the picture of what it is. There were 6 things that had that tool that does the routing for a circle. I feel bad now. I don't know the names of it, but they donated a lot of material, so we're really happy with that.
Keep in mind while we're talking about this, Sonny and I aren't the instructors of the class. So.
Yes, please keep that in mind. So that's what, anybody can see that. Those of you just listening on the audio podcast, I showed a picture of some tools. That's good enough. But we did put these pictures on our Facebook page, and we put them on the FIA page and the Floor U podcast page, all that kind of stuff. So you can go back and look and see what these manufacturers donated. So.
We had Leister through Winkleman. Both of them loaned us tools. They the tips and welders and I mean just boxes of tools that they loaned out to us to be able to have what we had. We tried to get as much together as we could, but holy cow, when we were welding and during the testing periods and times like that, it was so helpful to have that many tools.
Well, and we lucked out too because Winkleman was close enough. He came in the 3rd day. He actually brought in more tools. He ended up selling, I don't want to say how much. He sold a lot of tools, guns, tips, and things. So it was really worthwhile for him. And that's how these things work. I mean, we're not just asking you to give stuff. We want you to try to sell your product because when you make money, you can help us. We absolutely understand how that works. And with him being close enough to drive in, he was able to bring more stuff because we sold everything he brought. So it was good.
I'm like that at virtually every class I take. I swear I don't get away from a class without buying something, or at least buying something as soon as I get home. Because once you use it and you know how it works, and you've had it, especially when you're uncertain about what you're trying to do, you've had that tool, you've had it in your hand, you have made seams with it, you have melted rod with it, you are ready to go out with that tool, and it gives you more security. I've always been that way.
I mean, what do I say? If I teach you how to use my product, what did I just do? I just sold you my product. That's how these things come full circle. And don't get us wrong, we're not trying to sell tools while we're there, but if we're training you and we're certifying you and you find something you like, we're going to get you the best price on it when you're right there so you can have it, you can go back, and you know what? One job and you've made your money back from whatever tools you're going to get on these Flashcove jobs. So that's kind of the goal. So.
Jumped around on us again here, huh?
Do what?
Froze up there a little bit for a second. So, along with that, Turbo Tools, they sent a table of tools to use during the school.
Yep.
Again, we could have used more, and these guys sent a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I'm so thankful they sent what they did, but we could have used a couple more, especially during the testing part. That slowed us down a little bit, like you said. So Turbo Tools, MD.
Yep. Yeah, MD sent all the Flashcove and all the cap for all the test areas. So we did 2-foot walls with it, both with an inside and outside corner, one for practice and one for test. And they sent all the cap and all the Flashcove for that, which was a ton of material. So we appreciate MD for sending that, because
absolutely,
that's a specialized product that's a rail we're going to have to keep going back to. So we have to make sure we support them. But because you can't do the class without that. Trust me, we tried in Charlotte and it didn't go well.
and that was a fairly, to give you an idea of their commitment to education, their desire to participate. That wasn't somewhere where we had a close contact, right?
We had no relationship. We cold called, walked into the booth, and they're like, "What can we do to help?" And that's just, "Hey, we're doing education. This is what we need." They're like, "We'll send it to you." And I mean, and it wasn't one of those 6-week things where we'll talk to this person, talk to that. But they put us right in touch with the person who needed to do it, and they sent it within 2 days. That shows me they have a commitment to education, and I hope we become longtime partners with them for sure.
Absolutely. Now, there was one other company, I think that is everybody, but with all of these, I'm not going to thank all of these people without thanking Divergent Adhesives. I mean, we know Sonny is Divergent, but if you all knew the amount of work that Sonny puts into education, supports it, how much of this stuff comes out of his pocket when we go do things, or how much of it him and Divergent invest in. Thank you very much.
Don't tell my wife. She doesn't know. No, I appreciate that, but I do. I enjoy it. Anybody who knows me knows I enjoy the teaching side of things. I'd love for selling glue to be a hobby and me teach all day. But yeah, thanks, Paul. I do appreciate that. But.
So through the class, I mean, Daniel Gonzalez was there. We talked a little bit about him. Mike Pigeon. Daniel brought his sister, right? Sister, yeah.
Crystal.
And she was a student in the class, but I think she was tied for the high score on the test throughout the class.
Yep.
Yeah, Crystal, you passed. I don't know if anybody told you yet. We haven't gotten that out yet. But.
She didn't pass. She kicked ass. I enjoyed watching her work. She had attention to detail. She loved what she was doing. She was having fun. We need more people like Crystal in the industry for sure. So not only did her test scores, the way we judged, she was tied for the highest, but the overall job looked the best. It was just phenomenal. So.
Yeah, anybody that has the antiquated thinking that the ladies can't do flooring installation, you better adjust your thinking pretty quick.
Yeah, she may beat it out of you, but she'll tell you the right thing. She is awesome. I enjoyed spending time with her and Daniel. You don't see a brother and a sister team like that. It was good to see. And their other brother had to stay back and work, so Preferred Flooring. So not only were they there, I gotta give the plug to Preferred Flooring. We talked about this before, but they brought hats, they brought hoodies, they brought Yeti cups, Arctic cups,
sweatshirts.
Yes, sweatshirts, t-shirts, all kind of swag for the other instructors, and Paul and I, and we really appreciated it because, they're a small company. If those two aren't there, they're not working. They're not making money. So that was a big investment for them to come out. For them to come out for a week and teach this class. But
they brought more swag than NAFCT did.
Yeah, by far, because we brought zero. So, but yeah, it's we'll make this public now. Daniel Gonzalez will be or is Heat Weld certification, NAFCT certified #1. He will be #1 which is a big honor in my opinion, and I hope he feels the same way, that when this builds and there's 20,000 people, he's going to still be number one. He's still going to be the guy that we go to when we have questions. And God bless you, brother. I love you, man. I can't wait to get to know you better. So.
Yeah, he was. He's ready to go. He's ready for the next one.
He's a young kid. I say he's young. He's in his 30s, but he's what the industry needs. He's energetic, he's talented, and he's smart, right? They have I think there's two brothers and a sister. If I'm missing another sibling, I apologize, but Jose is the only other one that I've met. But their business savvy is phenomenal. I mean, they're just sharp. They know what they're doing. If you're in the Grand Rapids area, look up Preferred Flooring for sure.
Well, I met Daniel's brother in Vegas when we were there for surfaces.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, he stayed home because he said he's taught Daniel everything he knows. So.
Yeah, he was not shy to tell everyone that he taught Daniel everything he knows. I think that's what brothers are for.
I'm sowing some seeds of discontent in the family there. But Mike Pigeon, can't say enough about Mike Pigeon. He is a phenomenal instructor.
Yeah.
I truly enjoy what I get to even see through it because we're trying to keep the class moving. But
yeah, well, when we originally tried to do some training at the Charlotte Flooring Essentials class, he and William Thornton were the two instructors. And we knew right away that Puppy was the guy who needed to look over this course and teach this course. Because, look, we're not throwing this out to say this because we want to get more people in our class. Heat Weld and Flashcove is an art, and that art is dying. There are markets where people don't know how to do it. And they're having to sub that part of the job out or sub the job out completely, and you're losing out on money. Guess what? Hospitals, federal buildings where this stuff is used, they will never run out of money. I promise you. This is the one to learn, right? You know,
and there's not a replacement.
They go to shit in a week, but hospitals will always have money for new floors. You need to learn how to do this.
Hospitals always have customers, so they always have money, right?
That's right. That's right. The supply and demand. That's how that works.
But Mike he's an amazing instructor. I really enjoy the way he goes about it. How he's explaining things is so clear. It's so his ability to get the process across is just fantastic. So thank you very much, Mike. We appreciate your help with that. And
he's a Canadian who now lives in California, so he's really got a laid back personality, and it's perfect for teaching. It really is. So
we've gotten through all of the catch up. So we've gotten through the Heat Weld class. We're looking to do another one of them. We might be looking at something in May, but
yeah, we'll try to get one scheduled for May in Dalton. In Dalton. I said it.
I wasn't going to say a city. But we had talked about if there is somebody out there that hears this that has a location on the West Coast where we could hold the class, that would be something we would really like to put together as well.
Yeah, Southern California is definitely a spot where we need to have this training. Chicago is another place that needs to have this training. Dalton, the reason we want to go there is because we want to get the manufacturers involved. We want them to see what we're teaching and get them behind it. That way they can start teaching people with it as well. But again, it's all about logistics. So we're trying to find someone in Dalton who can host 15 to 20 people with test pods. So it takes a pretty large area to hold us for 3, maybe 4 days, depending on how we take the class, if we do inserts and things. But so as soon as we get that logistics worked out, we'll be able to make an announcement. We certainly will be having more classes soon. And we'll have at least 2 more by the end of the year, probably closer to 3 or 4.
That is the goal.
That is the goal.
So we made another announcement this week. And this is probably the biggest one. We talk about game changers. We talk about some of the things we've been working on that is behind the scenes, right? We couldn't get podcasts out because we've got our own businesses we're working in. We've got these other projects that we're working on. And so we sent out an announcement this week that we are now partnered with, well, we actually sent that part out at the Heat Weld when we were at the Heat Weld class later that week.
Mhm.
But we have partnered with the National Floor and NFCAP. Why
Yep.
don't you tell us a little bit about that? Sonny's been running point on this and taking up most of his time, so I'll let you explain.
Yeah, definitely taking up a lot of time. We've thrown some teasers out there on Facebook and an email blast that we do and things like that. But the NFCAP is the National Floor Covering Apprenticeship Program. And we've teamed up with them. They're a full 501c3 nonprofit organization. And so I can't say the specifics, but we're teaming up with, let's just say the U.S. government. Let's put it that broad. And we're going to be doing some training for some young people. And nothing's finalized yet. We're still working on it. But what we're doing right now is we're trying to reach out to any type of flooring contractor that we can get our hands on. And we have a letter of interest that we would like for you to sign saying that if someone went through this class, you would be willing to look at hiring them. Not that you're going to hire them, but you'll look at hiring them because there will be incentives for the first, depending on what state you're in, 3 to 6 months, that their salary will be paid. So the apprentice that comes to work for you will be getting paid by someone other than you. That's a pretty significant bonus. So not only are we getting new people into the industry, we are helping contractors hire new people because we're always short of people, and we're supplementing the income, or their payroll, I should say. So we're going to get this out. We'll put it on our website. We're redoing our website right now, so it'll be another week or 2 weeks or so. We're going to be at FCICA next week, or at least I will be. I'll be handing this thing out like free Wi-Fi, and we'll get it out to as many people as we can, but we want you to sign it because the more people we have signing it, the more serious they're going to take us. The more serious they take us, the faster this thing comes to fruition.
And where a large part of this comes from is the fact that there's been an expansion in the government that they've worked on, I think, for about a year now, which is the National Apprenticeship Program.
Yeah.
That's been expanded for certification. So specifically relating to the skilled trades, specifically relating to the construction industry. And we had, for a period of time, things had slowed down with this a little bit. We weren't quite sure where we were going. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Harvard study that came out?
Yeah, I was going to say, so most of us know that 2 years ago, the FCLC commissioned a study to find out, are we really short of flooring installers in the United States? Which, okay, we all had a good idea that we were, but we just didn't know how much of a shortage it was. Sorry, I'm sitting in the most uncomfortable chair today. But so we got the study, they got the study, we shared it. They realized, yeah, okay, it's a shortage. Everybody has a shortage. It's not really a big deal. So Q4 of 2019, Harvard does a study. You ever heard of that school, Harvard?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think it's in Orlando. I don't know.
One of those uppity colleges.
I'm completely joking here, folks. If you're just listening, you can't see my sarcasm. So Harvard does a study on blue-collar trades. So, and this was commissioned by President Trump because, like him or hate him, whatever, he's got a passion for blue-collar trades, and that's good for us, right? So Harvard commissions this study. They do plumbers, they do electricians, they do floor covering guys, they do HVAC guys. Lo and behold, the top shortage was flooring installers. Nobody had any idea it was going to be that bad. So the government goes, holy crap, we don't even have a program for flooring installers. We have electrical, we have plumbers, we have HVAC, but we don't have floor covering. So they said, wait, who are those people we were talking to a couple of years ago? That was Robert Blockinger and NAFCT. Robert Blockinger has been a great leader for this for us, and he's been passionate in meeting with congressmen. He's been to Washington. He's sat through all the boring stuff that I'm not allowed to go to because I talk too much. He's been doing all that for me.
Well, and at the time, he was president of the Floor Covering Leadership Council.
Yeah, he was the chairman of the FCLC at the time. That's where it started, right? And he was the president of NICFI, the Certified Flooring Inspectors. But so he did the legwork, and he's graciously brought NAFCT in to be the educational arm of NFCAP, which every time we have a call with these groups, I don't know if I can say their name, so I'm going to hold off saying it. Good group of guys. They know their part way better than I could ever imagine. They know their part like I know flooring. They know nothing about flooring. I know nothing about what they do, which makes for a perfect partnership. Right? Bob and I were talking about this yesterday. If we let them do what they need to do and they let us do what we need to do, there won't be any stopping us. It's really going to work out well. So that's the part we're really excited about. The good thing about one of those guys is he's out in California, and he's what's called a philanthropic advisor. And he's been advising and holding, he's been the philanthropic.
Philanthropic, maybe?
Huh?
Philanthropic, maybe?
No.
Yeah.
You made me lose my train of thought. No, it's philanthropic.
Okay, comment on the Floor You podcast Facebook page.
Philanther, screw you. And but he's done it for Magic Johnson, and he did it for one other. Who's the other person I told you? A person you would know. So all he does is distribute money to people who need it. So he knows he's got WNBA players, he's got NBA players he wants to bring in. We're talking about politicians who are going to get involved now. We're just excited, and again, I wish I could give you all the details, but we're not there yet. But I promise you, it's going to be a game changer for the flooring industry. So I'm so happy to be a part of it, and I hope you guys will join me.
And I think we really need to cover this twice. Email Sonny or myself to get a copy of the letter of intent. And the letter of intent its purpose is for us to be able to show that there are retailers, installation houses, anybody in the flooring industry that is going to be interested in working with these people that graduate the program.
Yeah, commercial, residential, hard surface, soft surface, carpet, vinyl, tile, wood, whatever you do, we would like to have your support, and we can send you this letter. Email me at Sonny, SONNY, at NAFCT.com, Sonny at NAFCT.com, and I will send it to you. You sign it, send it back to me. The more we can get, the faster we can get this going.
Absolutely. To be able to prove that there's both a need and demand, and to be able to show these people that are interested in coming into the program that there's work there. And there's absolutely work there. So
well, and I was sharing with Paul yesterday, this is not just something for the United States. This is international. This could be all over the country. We have or all over the world, the globe, to do this training. Because you think we don't have training here, you think it's bad in the United States, go somewhere like Ecuador. There's no training. Excuse me. Go somewhere like Canada. No, I'm just kidding. Canada's about the same. I could do. That was for you, Papa. But, the Bahamas, Honduras, South America, anywhere in South America, anywhere in outside of the United States, what we take for granted, aside from Europe, they have no standards. They need the standard. So this is an opportunity for us to band together, put these standards together, and teach the world one way. And I know that sounds hokey. I know it sounds, oh my God, what's this guy trying to do? I'm not a tree hugger, I swear. But I'm passionate about this, that if we can certify these guys and teach them how to run a business, okay?
Yep.
Installing the floors is almost the easiest part of being a flooring contractor, right? Being a flooring installer. Installing the floors is just putting it down. You've got to be able to run your business. Huh?
Least stressful, at least.
Yeah. You got to be able to pay your taxes. Your taxes. You got to pay taxes, income taxes. You've got to pay them quarterly. You got to pay them. There's so many things that you need to know that these guys are not learning, and it's not something you learn in 1 week about all 4 disciplines, right? You can't have 1 week class and do carpet, vinyl, wood, and tile. Can't do it.
Really? Can't
Yeah.
do that in inspections? Oh, wait, never mind.
Can't do that in inspections either, much less inspections. God. Yeah, I mean, inspections, you only have to know about everything about flooring. So, yeah, do that in a week. It'll be fine.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. And then tell somebody, never mind.
That's a completely different sidebar, but, you know. But we are passionate about this. We are just, I'm beside myself that I'm so excited about this, Paul. You know, I talk to you about it all the time. So, again, so many thanks to Bob Blockinger. He's the one who brought us into this, and I appreciate his support and the other 2 guys. And if we can, and I'll ask if we can mention their names and give a little background on them. I'd love to do that on the next podcast. Because they are great people, and we'll go from there.
And I think it's worth even pointing out that moving forward, we've got a list of about 60 people that we'd be interested in having as instructors.
Yeah, that list is growing. It grew by about another 30 over the last week. People have been emailing me asking how to get involved. People are going, hey, I know this guy. He's as passionate as you are, and he loves teaching. How do you team up with him and see what you can get? And the networking that's going on right now is incredible because I'm not the only one. Paul, you're not the only one. It's not us. There's so many people out there who are passionate about it. How do we capture it? And that's one thing we want to do, but we want to start kind of on the grassroots level. We want to start with the installers. What do these installers want to hear? What do they want to see? What do they want to learn? What do they want their helper to learn? Oh, their apprentice to learn. Not allowed to say helper. Their apprentice to learn. That's how we get it going. We don't just go, hey, this is what we're going to teach them, and you're going to hit the road, because that's not doing your homework. That's not going to get it done.
And I think that part of what this will do for the industry too is that if we can get these levels within the industry, it helps a experienced installer be able to hire somebody knowing that they got to get them into a program. They can't just work for them for 6 months and then go start their own company and start laying down floor. I mean, That's definitely a concern at this point. Who wants to hire somebody and then train their competition?
Yeah, that is certainly a challenge that we're seeing every day. You know, you teach them all your tricks and then they're gone. So, with this program, there's going to be time involved. There's an outline for how many hours that you have to do a specific discipline before you can move on. So, there's parts about business, there's parts about safety, there's parts about job readiness, there's parts about floor prep. I mean, you name it, we're covering it. So I think I hope I have. So we're going to go over it. We're going to do some rough drafts with some folks and see what we can get done.
So moving forward, if you have a lot of experience in the industry, we're not going to be bringing anybody on board that we haven't got time to get to know. Right. So if there's opportunities, if we're out, if you see Sonny or I or myself at a trade show or event, introduce yourselves, send us an email.
Yep.
Let's talk for a while and get to know each other, because we're not going to be. These are going to be the best of the best. The people that are going to go out and do training within this program are going to be the ones that have been at it for a long time. Maybe we can get them off their knees, at least mostly for a while, but also they're the people that would qualify at that master level if you have the traditional levels of the flooring industry.
And I feel like I say this every single podcast, and I don't mean to, but it may not be based purely on your hand skills. I have horrible hand skills, right? I was an average installer at best, but I know the rules, and I know how to communicate it, and I know how to work with people to get it done. So that's what we're going to be looking for in these instructors. Like Paul, yeah, he can't install anything. I mean, loose lay tile.
What a dick.
Hey, PG.
Mr. Dick.
My name is not Richard. Richard.
But no, that's really what it is. What it comes down to, because if you can't, the craftsmanship part of it is something you learn over time.
Right.
Right. We have to teach the rules, why the rules are important. What happens when you don't follow the rules of the industry? What you're costing yourself if you don't do it.
Yeah, what a perfect example, we talked about this before, AMI kid, Blanco.
Okay.
Blanco had awesome hand skills. I told him what we were going to do. Find the center. I had him on a 4x8 frame. Find the center, find the cross center. And I gave him, what were they, 6x6 with a pattern on it. 6x6 tile. I said, glue it up, put this down. He started and did one coordinate. You know, he put it in quarters, went and did one coordinate, then did the other side and worked his way around. And the whole thing was flawless. You could look at it from a 45-degree angle. You can look at it dead on. You can look from the side. It was completely straight. I don't know if I could have got it that straight. But he'd never touched flooring in his life. But he had grown up. His dad was a...
No. We're just that good at teachers.
Well, yeah, that's probably what it was. Because I think you would know. But his dad had done screen enclosures, and he'd work with his dad doing screen enclosures, cutting it and putting it together. And he had the idea of you measure it, you cut it, you do it right. Because, you know, I was blown away by that kid. I really was. So who knows? I mean, one of these AMI kids may be the next Daniel. He may be the guy who wins the CFI Installer of the Year and then becomes an instructor for an AFCT. I mean, how great would that be?
That'd be full circle right there.
Yeah, I'd lose my shit over that. I would. I literally would.
So, moving forward, there's more announcements coming, folks. We have got... We're making some changes.
What'd you say?
We're making some changes.
I thought you said we're waiting for cankles.
Holy cow. I'm getting fat. Not that fat, am I?
Cankles. We're talking about cankles.
No, there's some more changes coming. Some readjustments coming just based on workload and so forth. So we can tease it out there a little bit, but just suffice it to say that while the Heat Weld class certification was NAFCT's first certification, it's not going to be our last.
Not going to be our last.
Was that vague enough?
Huh?
Was that vague enough?
Definitely not going to be our last.
No, some of the things are gonna really streamline into what we're offering. It's gonna be an interesting couple months here.
Yep. By the time summer hits, we will be fully engaged, hopefully, with our project, and we can let everybody in on the big secrets. So we're excited. We hope everybody is excited as we are, and keep an eye out for more emails, more social media posts, things like that. We got to throw the teasers out until we can make the real announcement, but it won't be long, I promise. We're not going to drag the llama around if that's what you guys think we're doing.
I'm thinking there might be one announcement on the next podcast.
Yes, probably.
Probably? We can tease that?
Yeah. We can tease that.
I think there's going to be one announcement on the next podcast. I think something Sonny and I have discussed for a long time, and just time to pull the trigger on it, I think, so to speak.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I bet it's going to be effing great.
I haven't told you yet.
We do have one more thing to announce, though, in the fall.
Yeah? You're going to announce that today, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll do it. All right, so we didn't do one last year, but anybody who's been involved with NAFCT knows that our backbone, our favorite thing to do is our flooring essential classes. So we've been focusing on resilient, and what we do is we start with, we get the speakers from all across the industry, and we start with the substrate, be it wood, be it concrete. We talk about moisture, then we talk about curing compounds, we talk about the concrete itself, we talk about subfloor prep, SLUs, skim coat, cementitious patching, moisture mitigation, if I said that already, adhesives, and then all different types of flooring. We'll work our way all the way up to maintenance. Poor Stan Hewlin, he's been the last speaker at the last two, and It's kind of sucked for him. So we're going to make it better for Stan if he wants to come. But we have decided in the last week or so that we're going to go ahead and have one in the fall of 2020. More than likely going to be in Dallas. It seems to be that venue there in Dallas by the airport. You don't have to rent a car. You can get there easy. East Coast, West Coast, middle of the country. It's easy to get to. But it's definitely been something we've enjoyed doing. We get to meet with some of the best people in our industry. So if you would be interested in being a presenter at the Flooring Essentials class, or if you want to attend, stay tuned for more details. But if you want to be a presenter, just reach out to Paul or myself, and let's see what we can do. Because, you know, we go, one of them, we went deep into the bowels of thermal expansion with vinyl flooring. I mean, this is how intense we get with this. We are completely immersed in resilient flooring for a day and a half, day 3/4. And when you come out of there, your mind will explode with so much knowledge that you have.
Yeah, it's good for everybody, every level, but really the Flooring Essentials are aimed at the people that have been in the industry for a while, that really have some experience and want to understand some of the things to avoid issues down the road, to be able to have more successful installations, to be able to discuss the products more, knowledgeable approach to discussing their products. It's in depth. It's a lot of work, but we've managed to keep it pretty cost effective and try to put it somewhere that wasn't, you know, one end of the country or another. So hopefully everybody can get to it. Probably do a Floor You podcast from there, maybe.
Yeah, we say that. Quit saying that, because we don't do it. We are lazy as hell, and it's not going to happen. So about 3 weeks after the event, maybe we'll do a Floor You podcast. I'm done with saying we're going to do it there, because especially at the Heat Weld class, every time we try to do it, I'm like, nah, I'm going to bed. I'm tired.
Well, and especially with something like that, we talked about it at the Heat Weld class, but, you know, constantly working on things, and it does get pretty difficult. But come on, we can tease it. If we don't do it, they'll just be like, well, they didn't do it again.
Yeah, there they go again, lying to us again.
But we did that one at Surfaces. Oh, no, we didn't do that either.
No, we didn't do it. I'll do one next week at FCICA.